over 55 years, your source for agribusiness news and features from around the Southeast and across the country, focusing on one of the nation's top industries, agriculture. The Farm Monitor is produced by the Georgia Farm Bureau in association with Abraham Baldwin Agricultural College.
And with that, we say welcome to our home away from home, the Farm Monitor Ag Clubhouse in Macon, Georgia. But don't get too comfortable because our stay here will be very short.
Yes, that's because we're looking back at some of the big moments from this year's 47th Annual Sunbelt Expo. And trust us, it's one Georgians will be talking about for a long time. Case in point, a major honor that hadn't gone Georgia's way in more than a decade. We'll show you who took home the title and why it's such a big deal. Plus some scary good recipes just in time for Halloween. Meals from the field, the expo, and so much more starts right now.
3, 2, 1, cut!
Hey! You know, Mom always said if at first you don't succeed, try and try again. And that they did when they cut the ribbon, opening the doors to a showcase of Georgia ag heritage and innovation at this year's Sunbelt Expo. Governor Brian Kemp, Ag Commissioner Tyler Harper, as well as Georgia Farm Bureau President Tom McCall among the many who took time to address those in attendance for the ceremony. Once inside, visitors were taken on a road trip of sorts across Georgia, checking out interactive displays, educational exhibits, and commodity booths featuring everything from peanuts and poultry to pecans and fresh produce. The theme, All Roads Lead to Georgia Grown, a reminder that wherever you go in agriculture, there's a little bit of Georgia at the heart of it.
You know, I think this Spotlight State gives our state and our agricultural industry the ability to showcase what makes our A to Z agricultural state great. Apples to zucchinis, as we always say. And so we were excited about hosting it. We're excited we're here at the Expo to showcase what our teams have put together.
It means a lot for this to still be as big as it is and as many people come visit. And it's a good educational opportunity to folks that don't understand what we all do and see the equipment that we have to buy and deal with. And that is one of the biggest things that the Expo does, especially with the farm that they have.
We come every year because it's part of our heritage, part of our family. We love coming up here because it's family. And I can tell you, it's neat to be able to see a lot of our comrades and our friends across the country who come in here. But I'll tell you too, it's also good to get the latest technology and some of our latest innovations, and also actually participate and talk to some of our manufacturers and say, hey, this is what you ought to do and what we need to. It's a wonderful, wonderful place.
Here in Georgia, green jackets don't just belong to Masters champions. They're also worn by the top farmers from across the Southeast. But each fall, only one of them is crowned Southeastern Farmer of the Year at the Sunbelt Expo. As Damon Jones reports, this year's winner was a familiar name to folks here at home.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the 47th Annual Willie B. Withers Expo Luncheon. We truly appreciate it.
It's the official kickoff of every Sunbelt Ag Expo, as leaders from both the legislative and educational arenas gather to celebrate Georgia's top industry. And the highlight of this event is always the much anticipated announcement of the Southeastern Farmer of the Year. It's an award that won't have to travel too far in 2025, as Georgia's own Kent Hamilton of Southern Valley Farms took home the top prize.
Oh, I feel great. This really hadn't sunk in yet, but it's certainly a big honor, and I realize that it's a great accomplishment. There's a lot of great farmers out there. The truth that was in the running this year were really good farmers too. So there was a lot of competition. It feels really good. It's kind of all phased off now. It's paid off a lot before. I've been very blessed through the years, but this is kind of a slide.
While it is a competition, it's also a great opportunity to spotlight some of the good work farmers from around the region are doing in order to keep the U.S. running strong.
We get to honor farmers who continue to produce that safe, abundant, economical supply of food, fiber, and shelter. It helps us tell the story through their eyes, the great story of agriculture. It is a contest. There is a winner, and today Kent Hamilton from Georgia and Southern Valley Farms was named the overall winner. But they're all winners in our book. and just a great group of folks that deserve every bit of the recognition we can give them.
That certainly applies for Hamilton, who was quick to dedicate this honor to the person that got him into farming in the first place, his late older brother.
His name was Kurt. He was 2.5 years older than me, and all he ever wanted to do was farm. And we started farming together. He started farming before I did. Then I went to school for a little while, and I got out, and we started farming together. Unfortunately, he was killed in a farming accident, so his life was cut short. He was the real farmer, the one that really knew how to farm.
That wasn't the only award given out at the luncheon, as Georgia Farm Bureau also recognized those of the four-legged variety, as the second annual Georgia Farm Dog of the Year went to Rooster, an 8-year-old Merle Australian Shepherd that does a little bit of everything around the farm.
He brings cattle out of the pastures. He sorts in the sorting barns at the dairy. We trial some, and he's been a really good dog. He's a great family dog.
Georgia Farm Bureau started the Georgia Farm Dog of the Year in 2024 in honor of our mascot, Lucky. And we just wanted to honor and recognize all the hardworking farm dogs all across the state. The Farm Dog of the Year is chosen by a team of judges, so that we have an independent team of judges, and it's always a very, very hard decision.
Reporting from Moultrie, I'm Damon Jones for the Farm Monitor.
Well, we briefly heard from the Southeastern Farmer of the Year, but there's more to Kent Hamilton's story. After the break, how the family farm in South Georgia grew from humble roots to national recognition. In South Georgia, farming isn't just about the crops. It's about the people who plant them, the families who tend them, and the vision that carries them into the future. Kent Hamilton, both the 2025 Georgia Farmer of the Year and Southeastern Farmer of the Year, has been at it for decades. Alongside his daughter Courtney and sons Austin and Presley, together they're helping to shape the next chapter of Southern Valley Fruit and Vegetable. For Kent Hamilton, the story of the past 30 years isn't just about farming. It's about family. It's about faith. It's about the future of Georgia agriculture. From a modest start in Colquitt County, his dream has grown into Southern Valley Fruit and Vegetable, a name that now stretches from Georgia fields to farms across Tennessee, Florida, and even Mexico. What do you remember about Southern Valley when you first started, some of the memories, and what motivated you to keep expanding year after year?
We were just trying to figure out what we could grow that would be a good fit for us, that we didn't have to have a lot of expensive machinery to pack, that would be relatively easy to pack. And we started out carrying it to the farmers market in Thomasville. At the time, they had a live auction, and we carried it, ran it through that auction, and after doing that for some time, we met some of the buyers down there, and we teamed up with one specific buyer, and we would just take it directly to him then, and he was handling our product.
That mindset, equal parts determination and innovation, has guided Southern Valley through changing markets, unpredictable weather, and an ever-evolving agricultural landscape. But for Kent, the most rewarding part has always been the people beside him, mainly his family. One of those family members is his daughter Courtney, who's helping lead the operation into its next generation. Together, they've struck a balance between old-school values and forward-thinking practices, blending experience with fresh perspective. When you talk to people, Kent, about Southern Valley, I mean, they often mention how it still feels like family despite its size, despite that you are multi-states. How do you make sure that sense of family and community never gets lost?
Well, family is very important, and people like to do business with people that they like, people that they can relate to. And I know that's the same way it is for companies that buy our product and the people that work for them, because when I buy fertilizers, chemicals, boxes, whatever it is, whatever supplies it is that we're buying to run our business, hey, I like to buy from people that I like, people that I can relate to, people that I get along well with. And you know, having family and working with family, hey, that's good too, because we like each other. We spend time together, a lot of time together at work, and then we spend time together away from work.
Southern Valley has a year-round strategy, and it isn't accidental. Crops rotate across regions, soil is tested, and sap is analyzed. Every acre carefully monitored, a balance of science and instinct. For the Hamiltons, though, farming has never just been about growing produce. It's about growing opportunity, community, and a legacy built to last. And that balance between tradition and innovation is what's earned Kent not only the respect of his peers, but the honor of being named the 2025 Southeastern Farmer of the Year.
We need to be able to offer our customers different things, make sure we're able to offer the things that they want. It's not about us, it's about them. What do they want? And then we have to take those things and figure out, hey, how can we adapt that into our operation, into our business, and how can we be successful and be profitable doing those things?
Indeed, it is the perfect blend of tradition and innovation. And by the way, this marks only the third time since 2010 that a Georgia finalist has won Southeastern Farmer of the Year, and the first since Philip Grimes in 2014.
The Georgia National Fair has come and gone, but visitors got a tasty lesson this year. A new Georgia-grown exhibit highlighting the state's peanut industry. Our John Holcomb has the story.
Ag is, of course, big business here in Georgia, and a new exhibit inside the Georgia Grown building at the Georgia National Fair was aimed at making people aware of that fact with the new Powerful Peanut Experience, an exhibit that was designed to showcase Georgia's thriving peanut industry, which happens to be #1 in the country and is responsible for producing over half of the country's supply of the popular legume.
This year, we unveiled the Powerful Peanut display, where we tell the story of the Georgia peanut. You know, we're the #1 producer of peanuts in America. Over 50% of peanuts are produced in the state of Georgia. And this just gives us an opportunity to showcase how peanuts are grown and tell that story of Georgia agriculture, so the regular, everyday Georgian that either didn't grow up on a farm or doesn't understand how agriculture operates, these displays give them a real opportunity to know where their food comes from, how their food grows, and tells the story of our producers and our farm families and the work they do every single day.
Ag education is a big focus of the Rural Center and the Department of Agriculture, so we want to make sure that young people in this next generation are aware of the opportunities in ag, and of course with peanuts being Georgia's #1 crop, then that's a focus that we want to make sure that those opportunities are presented to the students that come through and others that come through to see the importance of agriculture and particularly the peanut production here in Georgia.
To help achieve that mission, the Georgia Peanut Commission partnered with Georgia's Rural Center to create an exhibit designed to educate visitors on the peanuts' journey from the field to the table, giving them a first-hand look at the people, process, and passion behind one of Georgia's most iconic crops.
Our end goal for this exhibit is for people to really have a deep understanding of what exactly all goes into those candy bars that people are eating, those peanut butter and jelly sandwiches people are eating. And we want to show and highlight from farmer to your shelling plants, I mean all aspects of it. We really want people to understand that the people that put that food on your table are so incredibly hardworking, and we also just want people to eat more peanuts.
One way they hoped to achieve that is by making the exhibit interactive and immersive, allowing fairgoers the chance to explore all the different aspects of the industry from planting to harvest.
I think the one thing we really wanted to incorporate in this booth was the hands-on experience. So we have multiple monitors in which you can walk through and learn different things. We also have our peanut wagon behind us where you can walk up and walk through and see what it would look like with peanuts in the wagon and the drying experience. And so we just really wanted to make it to where people really truly can feel and understand what the process is.
In the end, the goal was simple: educate this generation and the next about the peanut industry so that it, and agriculture in general, remains successful here in Georgia.
People need to understand what the importance of agriculture and the fact that Georgia is, again, our #1 industry in the state is agriculture. So, of course, awareness is the big thing. That's what we hope for the takeaway, not only for this generation, but for the next, and to make sure that Georgia continues to be #1 in agriculture.
Reporting in Perry for the Farm Monitor, I'm John Holcomb.
Up next, Tracy and Ray are getting into the Halloween spirit. Literally, they were talking monster sliders, cheesy dips, and maybe a few spooky surprises. Meals from the field after the break.
All right, so don't worry, today we won't be whipping up any blueberry pie or ice cream cake, no zombie zucchini. Instead, for those who enjoy the Halloween season, we are doing recipes that even Dracula would sink his teeth into. And joining me once again, our very own culinary wizard, Dr. Tracy Brigman. Happy early Halloween.
Happy early Halloween.
I am one who definitely likes to enjoy Halloween. I've got a huge yard spider in my yard, things like that. And today we are actually doing Halloween-friendly recipes.
Yes, absolutely. So we have 2 recipes that are kind of Halloween themed. The first one is a cheesy mini meatball dip. This is meant, you know, when you're answering the door to hand out candy, you don't really get to sit down and eat.
Nope.
You get a bite, the doorbell rings, so we figure a dip is good for that. So that's what our first one's going to be. I started with 12 ounces of hot Italian sausage that I shaped into 1/2-inch meatballs. And then I browned them off on the stovetop. I'm going to put that behind as we make the rest of the dip. Okay. I left in my skillet about 2 tablespoons of the fat that came off of those meatballs. So I'm going to turn up my heat to medium. I'm going to add 1 small red onion that I finely chopped.
And I'm doing a lot of this month because Tracy's got a tennis injury.
I do. I'm one-handed. And then that is 3 cloves of fresh garlic that I've chopped finely.
Garlic.
And then 1 jalapeno, again chopped finely. We don't want any big hunks of anything because these are some strong flavors. And then I have a 1/2 teaspoon of kosher salt and a 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper.
Kosher salt. Black pepper.
So we're going to cook this over medium heat until things have softened, so about 3 to 4 minutes. Okay, so my garlic, jalapeno, and onions are softened, so I'm going to turn the heat down to medium-low. I'm going to add 1 cup of barbecue sauce, so whatever your favorite barbecue sauce is.
1 cup of barbecue sauce?
Uh-huh. And then this is 8 ounces of cream cheese that I cubed, and I got it to room temperature so it'll melt a little bit easier. And then I'm going to add back in my cooked meatballs.
Cooked meatballs.
So I'm just going to cook this over medium-low heat until the cream cheese melts. And now we're going to add the rest of the ingredients. So I have 3/4 cups of freshly shredded American cheese. That's actually Velveeta. Okay. And then I have 3/4 cup of sharp cheddar cheese. So you can kind of mix and match if you want other cheeses. And then I have a 1/4 cup of finely chopped pickled red onions and a 1/4 cup of whole milk. And I'm just going to stir that in until it's well mixed. Once it's well mixed, I'm gonna top it with some more pickled red onions, some green onions, and then I'm gonna serve it with, I have some Frito scoops, I have some tortilla scoops or fresh tortillas, but there's your cheesy mini meatball skillet dip.
Moving on to the next recipe, this one requires some gloves.
That's right, we're gonna be handling some chicken. So here I have 8 chicken tenders. We're not gonna do that yet, we have to get the bread.
Go.
I have 8 chicken tenders that I split in half so they'll fit on the slider bun.
Okay.
So in this bag, I'm going to put 1 1/4 cups of panko. Panko's crispier than regular breadcrumbs. And then I have 2 teaspoons of garlic powder, 1 teaspoon of onion powder, 1 teaspoon of paprika, 1 teaspoon of salt, and 1 teaspoon of black pepper. So you're gonna put those all in a gallon bag, zip it up, and shake it. So once your mixture is well mixed together, I'm gonna take my chicken tenders, I'm gonna dip it in, this is 1 egg that I just mixed together, and you can probably do 2 at a time. And then I'm gonna throw it in the bag of the panko, seasoned panko dressing, shake it so that it's well coated, and I'm gonna put that on my baking sheet that I sprayed with Pam. All right, so we have our chicken fingers coated in our panko and our seasoning. The next thing I need to do is spray it with Pam spray twice because I'm not deep fat frying them. I need some fat on there to get some crispiness, so I'm just gonna do a quick once over and then once again.
Okay.
I'm gonna put this in my 450-degree oven for 7 minutes on this side, take them out, flip them over, and then about 5 to 7 minutes on the other side until they reach 160 degrees.
Got it.
So here you see our chicken fingers are done. They're nice and crispy and brown, and we're now gonna assemble our monster chicken parm slider. So I have a slider bun. I got some marinara sauce that I heated. You're gonna put 1 tablespoon on the bottom. You can put a little more than that. You know, you want to coat it so you can flavor it.
Okay.
And then you're going to take a chicken finger and put it on, and then another tablespoon of sauce.
Sauce.
Yes. Then you can go ahead and put that there.
Okay.
Down. And then this is sliced mozzarella cheese that we cut to look like teeth. So we got to get our calcium in. So we're gonna have some cheese, so we have little teeth hanging out. Then you can put the top on, the top of the bun on.
Top of the bun.
And then we're gonna put some monster eyes. So these are held in by toothpicks. Make sure before you give them to your kids that you take the toothpicks out.
Okay.
So go ahead and poke 2 in because we need 2 eyes.
Okay.
Look at And there you have a cute Halloween chicken parm slider. But again, make sure that you don't hand it out with the toothpicks because we don't want anybody taking a bite into that.
I don't want to eat it because it's so cute. Isn't it? And of course, these are recipes you can find by logging on to farm-monitor.com. All your Halloween tasty recipes on there for you and your kids to enjoy. And you know what? Maybe even give them to some trick-or-treaters if you want. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
They would enjoy that too. Well, Tracy, thank you so much. Happy early Halloween to you. And for all those who celebrate Halloween, happy Halloween to you too. And we'll see you next month.
Halloween treats the whole family can enjoy. One final note before we leave you, for all the latest ag news, recipes, and what's happening on Georgia farms, be sure you check out all of our social media platforms, including farm-monitor.com.
Take care, everybody. We'll see you next time right here on the Farm Monitor. Stay safe and have a great week.